Today, what I want to talk about is what my life looks like right now, professionally, as I'm working as a freelance project manager, contract consultant, project manager. What exactly does that mean? What do I do? Hi, I'm Kayla, and welcome to my channel where we talk about project management in lean teams and startup organizations. Today's topic is piggybacking off of a video I did a while ago. It happens to be my most watched video, so I know this content was useful to a lot of you, and I wanted to provide a follow-up to that. The video I'm talking about is a day in the life of a startup project manager. At the time I did that video, I had recently worked as a startup project manager at a small tech company, and I wanted to share with you guys what my day looked like for this sort of ambiguous position. What I'm going to talk about today is what a day in the life of a freelance project manager or a contract project manager looks like. This is the type of work that I do now, and I know a lot of you are looking at branching off and doing your own thing and kind of getting into this sort of work yourself. I want to give you an idea of what types of things I do on a daily basis and how I structure my day to get that all done. Please do make sure that you have appropriate work-life balance for whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in your life and whatever your priorities are. So eat right, exercise, take care of yourself, take care of your kids, like whatever it is that you need to do to take care of your life, do that. That's not what this video is about. I want to focus more on the actual stuff that I'm doing and how I kind of like structure that to get it done. So let's get started. First things first, with any day, just like any project I have, I start out the day by making a list, and I just kind of like download everything that's in my brain and I prioritize it based on what's urgent, what's important, what I have scheduled for that day in terms of client commitments. Then I time box everything. And this part's really important to me, and it's helped me to kind of like keep my day moving along and to understand that if everything I have on my list is even achievable, because sometimes I'll pile so much on my day, and once I start to time box it, I realize there's no way I can get all of that done. So time boxing it is super helpful. Prioritizing it is super helpful. Then I can start my day. Usually what my day looks like, the first part of the day, I'm going to be responding to anything that's urgent, any communications that need to be responded to right away. I'll respond to those first thing, and any other communications that don't need to be responded to urgently, I push off until later. The next thing, I usually like to allow myself a chunk of time for my creative thinking or anything that I'm doing that requires a little more creative brain power, because I find that I do that work best earlier in the day. So if I'm creating content for video or blog, or if I need to think about, like a new marketing idea or any sort of like business idea that I have and I want to think through strategically, I'll set that aside for first thing in the morning. The next thing I do is I allow myself a chunk of time during the day for my deep work. This is usually my client work when I'm working directly with my clients. I'll stop here and say I have a couple different types of clients. I have clients who I work with more on like a consultant type of basis, and then I have clients who I work with more in terms of like I am a project manager for them. So these types of clients require different work. During this deep work time of the day is when I'm going to schedule my calls with my consulting clients, and that could look anything like, depending on where I'm at with this client and in the process, it could be a discovery call with the client to talk about what their needs are, to look closely at their systems, to understand what their processes are, asking a lot of questions, right? In those meetings, those are what happen in my discovery calls, getting to know the client. If I'm further along in the process with the client of like helping them, as a process engineer, which is something that I do, then I may have calls with the team to work through what their processes are, to train them on certain best practices, or to onboard or train actual project managers, which is another thing that I do in my work. So any of those things could occur there. Now, I also have clients where I'm actually managing projects for them. So in terms of managing projects, I may do something like create a project plan, or I may write specifications or user stories, or I may have a call with a developer or a call with a client stakeholder to understand what their needs are and what we can do, and how to create what it is that we need to create or build for them. So those calls I usually chunk up in the middle of the day there. I have my follow-ups then after that. If there's questions or people I need to get to or reports that I need to put together after those calls, I chunk up in that same time grouping as well. I try not to have any more than like 3 calls a day if possible, but understanding that a lot of this is very client facing and people facing, sometimes I do need to have more calls than that. But I like to sort of chunk those out, my calls in the middle of the day there, along with my follow-ups. At the end of the day, this is when I like to tackle things that don't require quite as much brain power, maybe more detailed type of things. If I'm doing video editing, if I am proofreading something, if I'm even writing SOPs, if I am doing my own billing for my clients, I'll stick that at the end of the day so I know that I don't need a lot of brain power for it, but it is something that I need to plan for and get done. That's what my day looks like. Like I say, it really helps to time box that out to make sure that what you want to get done in the day is realistic and achievable, and then just get after it. Let me know, are you working as a freelance project manager? Are you looking into working in this area? What would be helpful to you to learn or understand about this type of work? I'd love to hear from you.